Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the second full week of April. We're taking a look at all the releases from the 13th until the 17th. As always, we're taking a look at all the physical retail releases, all the low print games up for order, some juicy imports, and our community spotlight where you show off your pickups. This week, I finally picked up something new for the Switch, and it's Cooking Mama. Yes, I really had no intention of picking this one up. However, the marketing genius behind it has had collectors scrambling for copies just in case they have to be recalled and destroyed due to disputes between the rights owners and the publisher. Will I ever play it? No, but I didn't want to take the risk. I don't know how rare it's going to be in the future, but copies are still available in places if you don't want to risk that for yourself too. Alright, this week's physicals. Microids have got a trademark double pack for you. This time, they're doubling up Flashpack, which received a physical edition ages ago, plus Another World, which was one of Limited Run's releases a while back. Individually, they were probably a bit pricey for what you got, but bundled together, then you got yourself a nice little package. Anyone planning on picking this up, or do you already have the individual releases? Finding Teddy 2 was supposed to be releasing this week thanks to Pixel Heart, the same people behind Gigantic Army, which is something of a legend in these parts. I've been talking with the publisher and they are rushing around like crazy to try and get things sorted in time for release, but as with the current global climate, it's touch and go as to whether they will be able to put it out this week. Perhaps it may be delayed slightly, but they're trying their best. I'm actually looking forward to this one. It looks like a decent game despite the name, and I'm hoping that we can take a look at it for review. Another casualty is that of Construction Machine Simulator. There have been listings for this one this week, but unfortunately due to the current climate again, it has been delayed until May 15th, although that too is just a placeholder. Sword of the Necromancer is having a successful Kickstarter right as I speak. The game is already fully funded but continues to get support, including a €40 early bird physical edition. This game is a cross between top-down Zelda and Enter the Gungeon, or so I'm told, and apparently the game is pretty much functional and playable already. They just want your support to make it bigger and better. More bosses, more enemies, more music, more art, and so on. It looks pretty decent, so if you want to support it, head over to the Kickstarter so you can get your pledge in. Sadly, there's no known delivery date, but the publisher handling this one has a good track record of delivering their promises. Alright, let's jump into the low print releases. Sexy Brutal is Super Rare Games as the latest physical release. This was a very well received game when it originally launched on the PS4, I believe, but did garner a lot of criticism for the shoddy performance on the Nintendo Switch port. However, Super Rare have stated that this release includes the latest patch on the cartridge. Whether that fully irons out the performance issues or not, I don't know, but they have a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. This includes a 64-page art book, a soundtrack CD, A3 poster, a full pack of playing cards, full color comic, complete set of trading cards, plus the usual stuff that you find in their standard versions like a manual and sticker. Sounds really nice actually. Only 1,000 copies for that one, plus the standard version has 4,000. Anyways, 16th of April to get your order in for this one. Blackbird is now up for pre-order from Limited Run Games. If you don't know what this is, then my god, what are you guys doing? This is one of the most surreal games that I've ever played, especially in the shooter genre. It's a side-scrolling shooter where you can roam left and right as you please. It's just weird, but very, very lovely. If you enjoy the classic game Defender, well, this is better, and then some. Great art style, absolutely top-tier music. It's a great little package. Short, sweet, great for score attacks. Limited Run are doing a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, in that you get a reversible poster, an art book, and yes, they know the music is awesome, you get a soundtrack CD. Highly recommend you check out our review of this one for more info. Clannad is also another release from Limited Run, this time under their distribution line. A very highly regarded visual novel, often touted as the best on the Switch by many, and I'm sure this is going to make a lot of people happy. Previously, this was an import exclusive. The Japanese release from a while ago does have English, so I'm sure most hardcore fans already have that in their collection, but it was pricey and it's pretty much sold out everywhere, so at least this opens the game up to a wider audience. There's also supposedly a collector's edition, although when it comes to their distribution line, Limited Run couldn't give two monkeys about putting much info out or promotion in run up to release. But anyways, it looks like it includes a guidebook as well as an arranged soundtrack. As for the pricing, who knows, although I have a feeling this ain't gonna be cheap. April 14th for a 6-week pre-order period. Alright, let's jump into a couple of imports this week, and just remember that what you see here, including the community spotlight section, we do have affiliate links if any of them take your fancy and you want to purchase for yourself and lend SwitchWatch a massive hand at the same time. They are in the description of the video and in the pinned comment. Every purchase that you make really helps support us very much. Plus, when you use our links, we can give you something back if you use our coupon code SwitchWatchTV. That's SwitchWatchTV, one word. When you're checking out, you get 5% off all physical items. Lovely. Okay, only a couple of imports this week. The Fox Awaits Me is a visual novel releasing in Japan. This is releasing digitally in the West, but only physically in Japan for now. The good news is that the Japanese release does have English, so if you want it physically, then it's going to be worth an import. And not only that, but there's a standard edition as well as a limited edition if you fancy a drama CD as well as a soundtrack. Anyways, this is a Bishoujo, which means it stars young girls. The main character has lost their memory in a folklore-infused world with some lovely artwork and music. And by the way, we will have a review for you out shortly, April 16th for this one. Olympia Soiree is another visual novel, this time of the ever-popular otome genre. Sadly, this one does not have English, but just like The Fox Awaits Me and every other visual novel released in Japan, there's a standard edition and a collector's edition, which includes a drama CD and a booklet. Alright, community spotlight where you show off your physicals. Plus, if you get featured, you'll be in with a chance of winning something. Yes, well, I was planning on giving away a nice physical copy of a game, but due to the current climate, I think I'm gonna put that on hold just for a little, since I'd rather not take any risks for anyone involved. So this month, we're gonna keep it simple. For April, we're giving away a $20 eShop voucher. Yes, that's sacrilege when it's all about physical stuff in this series, but don't worry, we will have something more special once the world returns to normality. Okay, let's delve in. Alex Grave, one of our resident writers who goes by Pika Link in the comments, showed me his latest two pickups. First, Hatsune Miku Mega 39 is a fantastic rhythm game that's currently only out in Japan, but is coming westwards later on. I highly recommend it. Plus, a very unusual physical in Lover Kiss. This is a visual novel, adult-orientated. There's no English, sadly, but I know Alex is studying Japanese, so he can perv his way through this one, I'm sure. Enjoy, my friend. Roberto Makoto sent in 3 pictures this week. First, Shikondo, a beautiful looking shooter. Also, Sayonara Wild Hearts. I actually forgot this one got a physical release. And finally, the Japanese Ryza, as well as the ever interesting Japanese Rail Sim 3D, which, believe it or not, does have English on the cartridge. Yes, it's getting a Western release from Dispatch Games, but I'd rather not deal with those guys. Mayrin showed off this game. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's an interesting puzzle game that's exclusive to Japan and involves words, so unless you're studying Japanese or are fluent in it, this is a no-go. I do know that Mayrin is very good at Japanese though. Craig Morgan showed off this picture, Katamari Damacy Reroll, a very interesting and funky game, incredibly wacky and unique, and I really love this one. He picked it up for an absolute bargain price too. Nagano sent in these pictures, firstly of Cooking Mama Cookstar. He played it and said it was probably more like a $20 game than a full price thing. He also picked up Disaster Report 4, which I'm sure Alex will be very pleased with, including the collector's edition known as the First Aid Edition, plus some excellent shooter imports. Craig N sent in these games. Holy crap, it's the ultra super rare and expensive Darius Collector's Edition from Japan. I am so jealous of that one. Plus an interesting one, Deponia, which I can't say that I remember being released, so that's the first time for me seeing it. Perhaps I missed it in this series. JP showed off these games. What a wonderful picture. I love those Turok editions. It makes me very nostalgic. Luke Zone, I'm sorry I don't know how to say your name, showed off this wonderful picture including some rare and expensive stuff, plus some fabulous imports. Look at that massive Darksiders Genesis Collector's Edition. I don't know if that's the standard Collector's Edition or the super duper expensive Collector's Edition. I'm not sure, but either way, it looks beastie. Plus, there are some games that even I tend to miss in this series, like the Simulation series. He has the Firefighters one. Honestly, it would be a full-time job trying to keep track of some of these releases. Visipon showed off her P-Cube collection. I have to admit, I do have a soft spot for the company. They put out some fine Japanese games that otherwise wouldn't see the light of day. Plus, they published Dust Diver, which I'm very thankful for. Fluttershy didn't have any games to show off, but I did appreciate these couple of dock lights that they showed off, first of Mario Odyssey, and then of Shantae. I'm not sure where they purchased these, but they do look lovely. Hyrule Legends showed off those polygonal Final Fantasy VII figure set that I'm so jealous of. They look fantastic and will look great on my shelf. I guess I better start saving. Choco Loco James wanted to show off this nice Animal Crossing collection, as well as a deluxe edition of Final Fantasy VII, which I'm so jealous of. Chinese retailers have been slow on this one, so I had to settle for a digital copy myself. I couldn't wait any longer. AE452 showed off this triple threat. Man, I really want to spend more time with the collection of mana, especially in the run-up to Trials of Mana, the remake that's coming very soon, but sadly I just don't have the time. Retro Games picked up Pokemon Let's Go and was surprised to get this steel book with their copy, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. So cool and colourful. Resfinal had a couple of pictures this week. Firstly, 2 imports, the Japanese version of Dead or School, which does have English, and Persona 5 Scramble. Man, I can't wait for that one in the West. It seems like all the fanfare has gone to Royal, but I'm more interested in this for the Switch. And finally, he also picked up Disaster Report 4, a very quirky game to say the least, but definitely worth checking out. Punky Dooster allowed us inside his card case to get a great look at some indie classics. Not many people talk about Victor Vran, but it is supposedly a very solid game. I think we reviewed it for the website. Mansfield Bear showed off his weekly haul, some great releases in there. I still can't get over how massive that La Mulana set is. You could beat someone to death with that. Chuck's Taylor sent in quite a few pictures of their great collection and lots of collector's editions. Sadly, I don't have time to show all of them to you, but here are a few that I personally thought were great, including the massive Owlboy edition and 99 Vidas from Strictly Limited. That really looks quite cool. Belly Drum sent in 2 pictures, firstly of some quality imports, the Super Robot Wars Holy Import Trinity. I've not mentioned them in a while, but they really are some of the best games that you can get. And secondly, they showed off some obscure and expensive titles, including Bayonetta 1 from Japan, the Korg Gadget Music Creator, which I had no idea was a thing until very recently. That's very hard and expensive to get a hold of. Plus, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, which may very well be the most expensive Western game, at least for a standard edition, right? I don't know, I haven't been keeping a track of prices recently, so I'm not sure. Jonathan also got in on the Cooking Mama craze. I guess everyone is worried that they won't be able to get their hands on it later. Plus Disney Tum Tum Festival, which was pushed quite a bit by Nintendo, but then was released and never talked about again. Everyone's favourite 80s action hero Kurt Cannongrave showed off these games. Who says the Switch is for kids? We have releases like these. We recently reviewed Zombie Army Trilogy and Metro Redux, so check out those reviews. And to end this week, Stephen Dummett showed off the European Collector's Edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. A nice little peek inside, loving the artwork so much. Speaking of which, did any of you manage to snag the Collector's Edition of the first game's remake? That sold out fast, and for good reason, since it looks awesome. Alright, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone on long enough. If you want to send in your recent additions, or perhaps send in your favourite Switch games, or, games you think are underrated, it doesn't matter how many, send it to me on Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. Please directly message me so I can keep track of it, or you can email into us at contactus@switchwatch.co.uk. Just make sure you start the email with Community Spotlight so I don't miss it. Plus, we have a Discord, which is always a nice way to have a talk with you guys, and you can send me your pictures on there. The Discord server link is below in the description and pinned comment. Right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of New Physicals. My voice is going because I haven't spoken for a long time. What has taken your fancy this week? Be sure to check out last week's episode in case you missed it, plus a couple of reviews that you may have missed. And hopefully tomorrow we can have a nice review of The Fox Awaits Me for you guys. We'll see you over there. Take care.